I'm going to talk about a use case which is going to be very operational. What we did at Unitymedia, we started off by looking at a software and how we can actually have an impact on our books. So I'm going to talk about the delivery of that system and how we could actually drive actionable value for our company and of course our customers. So let's start off actually with the first question. If you think about internet service provider, what is the thing you're most worried about? If you ask the customer, it's very often, look, I cannot live without my internet. So actually being able to differentiate on the customer experience side is very, very important for us. If we look at the issues we have at an internet service provider, of course we need to manage our OpEx. So we want to make sure that we have our technical service costs low, so we want to avoid calls, truck rolls, and ticket. Customer experience is a big one for us. If we're looking at the telco market, it's quite difficult to develop a USP beyond quality and price. So to protect your top line, you need to make sure that you differentiate by having a very good customer experience. So what we wanted was actually that we have a real-time actionable insight. So we wanted to make sure that what we see and what we have on the data side is actually driving impact. So we wanted to avoid, if you translate that directly, we want to avoid calls, tickets, and truck rolls. We want to reduce our OpEx. We want to improve our NPS, that's a Net Promoter Score. So that's a means to measure customer satisfaction. And we want to improve, of course, continuously our processes. And we looked at how can we do that? What kind of platform can we use? It's a make or buy question. And what we eventually ended up with, we worked with Guavus, which is a Taylor's company. What they do, they offer the capability to deliver the value on that side. We tried to feed in all relevant data sources and came out with 2 use cases we're going to look at. To briefly explain what we did, we said, all right, we have a platform, we need to feed in all kind of customer care interactions. So in other words, everything that you got in your IVR, anything you got in your ticket system, or the truck rolls. We wanted to understand what the cable modem telemetry is working like. The CPE error system. CPE is the device you have in your house, so the cable modem, your router, whatever it is. Network alarm stream, our IPDR, network topology, how's our network structured, and all kinds of custom information. So what kind of CPE type do they use, what kind of products, software, firmware, and so on. This information is fed into the platform and delivers in real time 2 use cases, which was relevant to the business owner, which was the technical service side. So detection of anomalies, I'm going to explain to you in a second what that actually means, and predict outages. And of course, you always get a time frame. I'm working in delivery, so that's the part where you always get a little bit anxious. So they said, all right, you have 5 months to deliver. And please give us a way that is quite accurate. And what we did, we chose an ex post approach. We said, all right, we know we have a real-time data platform. So let's go back in time and take the data of all the data sources I linked and take the data of 6 months, feed that into the system, and simulate over a period of 6 months what the platform would have delivered. And afterwards, we'll ask Guavus, give us a list of anything you would actually claim your platform will deliver. And then we go back in time and actually are able to confirm this is something we actually were able to see. And this is a real value that would have been created. Now, a short excursion to customer operations. In a call center, for the sake of argument, let's say you have 100 calls per hour. Our goal is, internal KPI again, to make sure that 80% of our customers have a maximum waiting time of 20 seconds. What if a problem occurs? Let's assume in our network we have the issue that CPE type 1 has an issue with node 2, and all the customers in that segment are being impacted. So the people are calling in. You have a normal fluctuation which is not really being recognized by our staff or by our colleagues. People are calling in and you have 105, you have 110, and people go, all right, look, this is a little bit out of the norm. Then you go to 120 and people know something is wrong. So you are aware of the problem, and that usually does take some time. The next part is you need to identify what kind of problem you have. Some agents might correctly identify, look, we have a CPE type 1 issue. The other one might say, actually, we have a node 2 issue, which is also correct. One might actually falsely recognize a different type of error by saying, oh, maybe it's something to do with the product or something internal. Let's say, let's send a truck roll to the house and make sure everything is working in the house. And again, OpEx wasted. But the mean time to repair from the problem occurring to the problem solution is taking some time. This is, of course, causing more calls, tickets and truck rolls. To give you an estimate, rough numbers, we're talking about, I'm not going to give the exact numbers, a range. A call is between 3 to 5 euros. A truck roll is somewhere in the range of, let's be a little bit more general, 50 to 120 euros. But then we have the tickets, and all of that is, of course, impacting our customer base, which is, again, becoming more and more a key differentiator in the telecommunication market. Let's go back to the example. So you have the 101st call, the 102nd call, the 103rd call coming in. Guavus in the background is monitoring what kind of customers are calling in, where the network topology are they, what kind of CPE type do they have, and it will say quite quickly, wait a second, we have now CPE type 1 with node 2 calling in on a much higher basis than normally. There is something wrong. Please watch out, there is an issue. First of all, it reduces the awareness time massively. The identification time, of course, quite a bit, because you don't start analyzing by talking to people, you are actually doing that on a database driven use case. And the solution time is, of course, still the same. So this was the part where we had a reactive use case. So we are reacting to what the customer is actually giving us on the information. There's another part which is the part which is predictive. So let's take a look at the network. What does it do? So historically, if you go into the network data we have, there are sometimes patterns which occur prior to an incident in our network. So you can see, I don't know, different kind of upstreams, downstream numbers, which then result in a certain kind of issue. What the platform is doing here is saying, all right, if we see that pattern before, again, which we learned in the past, and we can predict with a high number of certainty where an incident might occur before the customer has any kind of impact. So these are the use cases, and this will eventually help us solve the problem before it occurs, hence reducing our time and making sure that the people we have can be actually managed more properly rather than reacting to something. Now, what is actually ending up in the benefits if you implement something like that? I'm giving you ranges again for obvious reasons, but we are anticipating to save 4 to 7% savings on calls, 4 to 7% on truck rolls, and if you think about 40 million customer base, this is real cash. This is a lot of money. We look at 5 to 8% on tickets, and the NPS overall is increased slightly under 1 point. So to put that into comparison, if you are able to increase your NPS by 1 point, this has a financial impact which sometimes outweighs the official OPEX reduction, because you have so many other benefits behind that. So it is quite significant.
Thanks, Philipp.